The doctor said he'll do it Monday, so I'll know from then. Got to get this MRI next day as well. Jared's got one hard head.
So the hand might be broken as well?
Not the hand, it's my fingers here. These like little knuckles here. It's the fat.
Yeah. Well, obviously we talk about when you fight, there's all these expectations. It's almost like if you don't come in and, destroy him in the first round, that you're good. So I guess, going through a 3-round war like that, how do you feel right now about the performance?
I'm sound, you know what I mean? Everyone's got an opinion, lad. The opinions are arseholes, you know what I mean? Everyone's got one. I know I won that fight, simple as. I deal in facts, lad, and I won a unanimous decision. It's not even like it was a split decision. Look at his face and look at mine. Fights get scored on damage now. I landed a lot more damage. End of.
Yeah. I know you had a lot of respect for him as a fighter coming in, but was it even more difficult than you thought? Did he have surprises for you in there?
Yeah, he was. It was, as I say, he can take a punch, lad. I hit him with some big shots and he kept coming forward. Hats off to Jared. He's a phenomenal fighter, also a phenomenal human being.
Yeah. Do you, as the fight's unfolding, like you said, it's like people expect you to destroy guys. Is it difficult for you to keep focus and keep confidence, knowing that the fans probably want you to get them out of there in one, and you got to kind of grind your way?
No, I'm pretty happy now because I've just done my first ever 3 5-minute rounds in the UFC against a tough opponent who I know has cardio, and I could have pushed it more in that 3rd round, but I coasted a bit. I thought I'm 2 rounds up, I'll coast it a bit, especially with the ankle. Know what I mean? I shouldn't have. It's my own silly fault. I shouldn't have coasted in the 3rd round, but control time means nothing when you don't do nothing with it.
Last thing for me, obviously we're going to have to figure out what the health status is before you book anything, but do you see something? What's next for yourself as far as like a place or a headline or an opponent? What's next?
I don't care, lad. You know what I mean? People keep saying, oh, you're going to fight the top 15, you're going to fight him, you're going to fight him. Everyone talks about me, lad. That's how they stay relevant. People mention me to stay relevant, lad, so I don't care. Whoever's name's on the contract next, I'll fight, but I've got to sort this ankle out first.
Paddy, don't you right? Dana was in here and he said that he thinks that Jared's game plan going into the 3rd round was horrible. Do you think the same?
Yeah. I compared it before to when Sean O'Malley hurt his ankle. He should have tried to stay standing with me because my ankle was pretty compromised in that 3rd round. I was worried about my ankle, so because of that, I think if he would have tried to strike with me a bit more, he would have caught me more because I couldn't move properly. My foot wasn't 100%. So I think if he would have stayed striking with me, he would have had a lot more success because my mobility was a little bit stuck. You know what I mean? I would have been stuck in the mud. When he started pushing me against the cage, I was like, sound, let's chill. You know what I mean? And then I was landing more significant strikes with me back on the cage. You know what I mean? I think he landed 3 or 4 significant strikes in the 3rd round. I was landing knees to the body, knees to the face, little elbows, little punches. As I say, fighter scored on damage now, and look at his face and look at mine.
And obviously he's saying about the referee as well. Dana thinks, you should have done a better job of breaking it up. There was a bit of inactivity against the fence. Were you ever like, look, he's not doing anything to me, we need to separate it?
No, as I said, my ankle was a bit compromised, lad. So when he was holding me there, I was like, sound, Jared, let's chill. You know what I mean? Let's just base off here because the more I separate, the more I have to put weight on my ankle and the more I have to end up worried about getting in a bad position with my foot because it was bad. Like as soon as I kicked him in the 1st round, I put my foot down and went, oh, what's happened there? And then I was thinking about my foot, and where I was worrying about my foot, he left hooked me. I was like, oh, yeah, you're in a fight, Pad. Stop worrying about your foot. Let's focus on the fight at hand.
Is it an injury that you've had before? Do you kind of suspect what it is, or do you not know?
No, I don't know. Know what I mean? I've had ankle injuries before, lad. Know what I mean? But I feel like there's something in my ankle floating about. It's a bit weird. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is. I've got a splint on my ankle now. I'm getting it looked at on Monday. Hopefully it's not too bad and I can focus on fighting still, but I don't know. I'm hoping I don't need surgery.
Obviously 4 wins in 4. Christmas is on the horizon. I think you've got a holiday to Thailand, right, in January. Yeah. How have you sum up this year, given this your co-main event, pay-per-view debut?
Sound, innit? It's been a good year. 3-0, 2 finishes. I've just went a full 15 with a very tough opponent who, as I say, he comes to fight every time, lad, and he's got the cardio for 15 minutes. And I won by unanimous decision. That's all that matters. So I've had a brilliant year, an absolutely brilliant year, and long may they continue.
Just one from more for you, sorry. Everyone makes a big deal about the diet outside of camp. Do you really not care what you're going to do from now between the next one? You know, everyone makes up you go almost to light heavyweight limit as you're eating a pizza there, I'm guessing it is?
No, that's a cookie, that lad.
Oh, cookie, okay. Do you not care in between now? Do you just going to do what you want?
I don't give a flying fuck what anyone's got to say about me. I turn up on weight, in shape. That's all that matters.
Cheers, mate. Congrats.
Paddy in the front right here. You said you when you coasted in round 3, were your coaches telling you that you had won the first 2 rounds, or did you feel it in there that you had won the first
I knew
2?
I'd won the first 2. People don't have to tell me, you know what I mean? But when I've looked at the stats after the fight, I think I won all 3. In the cage, I thought that he won the third, you know what I mean? And when it said 29-28, I was like, yeah, good decision. I won the first 2, he won the third. But then after looking back at the stats, 4 significant strikes in the third. Console time doesn't mean jack shit anymore, lad. You know what I mean?
So immediately after you felt he had won round 3, but then in hindsight, you think you won all 3? You
Yeah.
And did you say anything to him after? He seemed pretty upset and seemed to leave the octagon.
No, I spoke to him in the back. He said to me, I thought I won. I was like, lad, you're one tough son of a bitch. You know what I mean? You took some shots there and kept walking forward. Everyone always thinks they won, lad. I've lost 2 5-round decision fights and I thought I won both. You know what I mean? It's that simple. But like I said, opinions are like arseholes. Everyone's got one. The fact is, I won by unanimous decision.
Paddy done it. Obviously, you joked with Joe Rogan about did he pay for the interview. I'm curious, was there any part of you that regretted that thing happening this week with all the comments that you're getting on your Instagram and stuff like that?
No, I don't give a fuck. I'm unapologetically myself, lad. I've had that bottled up for over a year where he talks shite. I've had all bots commenting on my page. I get on with it, lad. You know what I mean? One of them.
Do you think that's an issue that you and Ariel could ever squash, or is that just going to be behind you?
I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Fighters are more important. I worry about fighters.
Hey, Paddy over here. Just out of curiosity, first time fighting in front of a full arena in the United States for the UFC. Just what was that experience? You know what you bring in the UK. What was it like to feel that knowing you're in a completely different country?
I felt bad for Jared when he walked out and got booed, to be honest. I did. I felt bad for Jared because he's a nice, very nice man. He didn't deserve to get booed, but it just shows how good my fans are and what star power I've got. That walkout was spectacular. That's up there with the O2, you know what I mean, and the Echo Arena in Liverpool. That was special. Lovely walkout.
I know you're going on vacation. If Jake Paul hits you up for that sparring session, are you still down, or what are your thoughts?
Lad, I'm going to have to get my foot looked at before I do anything. That goes without saying, lad.
Thank you.
Paddy, Jared Gordon, do you think the toughest fighter that you've faced so far in your career?
Yeah, probably. As I say, lad, he's one tough son of a bitch. The man's had a golf club put over his head and a baseball bat put over his head and hasn't went down. But I've hit him with some punches there. Like, I think at the end of the second, if I wouldn't have poked by accident, obviously, if I wouldn't have got in his eye, I think I would have finished him there because I had him rocked. But it's one of them, lad. You know what I mean? I'm glad I've done a full 15 in the UFC against another athlete that I know can go 15 minutes easy, and I know for a fact that I won the fight. So, as I say, I deal in facts. And
how was fight week for you this week without having Molly alongside you? The last few UFC fights for you, the pair of you have been on the same card. Has it been slightly different dynamic? Is it not the same having Molly there with you?
Fight's a fight, lad. We turn off to scrap. You know what I mean? I'm always going to have this media and this big bubble around me whenever I turn up to fight because I put a lot of expectations on my shoulders the way I talk. But I talk the talk and then I walk the walk.
Assuming you're fit and good to go early in the new year, I know previously you said you wanted to go over to Vegas and fight in the States. Would fighting on that London card, given that it's a big pay-per-view, would that be something you'd be up for? Maybe co-main under that title fight with Leon and Kamaru? As my man said, lad, I've got an Aldi booked in Taiwan for January, but I'm not just a fighter now, lad, I'm a businessman. I've got a few business
businesses that I'm opening up and a few things that I've invested in. So I'm not just a fighter now, lad. I've got to worry about some of my investments. So I don't know. We'll see.
All right, and last one from me. You mentioned your outside interests outside of the fight. Tell us about this foundation that you put together.
Well, yeah, I've put together the Paddy Foundation, and I just want to try and give back, you know what I mean, and help people who get forgotten about. So kids in the UK who are eating off food banks and are going out in their school uniform on a Saturday and Sunday because they haven't got clothes. I want to try and help people like that. And then obviously men's mental health is a big thing to me now. In my city there's an epidemic at the minute of people killing themselves, young men. So I just want to help give back. As I said earlier, I want to help Jared. Jared's such a good man and he helps his community so much. So I want to work together with Jared and put some funds together with him and help some of the charities that he works with in his local community, because he does so much for them. And, you know, we was enemies for 15 minutes, but we'll be friends for a lifetime.
Cheers, thank you.
Paddy right here. Jared just tweeted a few minutes ago saying, you know, I was robbed and everyone knows it. There's a few other fighters who have tweeted out like worst decision in UFC history and things along those lines. Why do you feel that maybe the outsider perspective is so far against you as far as how this fight unfolded?
Because I'm me, lad. It's just because it's me. You know what I mean? I don't know who's saying who else thought he won? Any idea?
There's a lot of people. If you like kind of look over fellow fighters on Twitter, you know, Dominic Cruz said he thought it was a terrible one. People called it embarrassing.
I was sitting next to Dominic Cruz before and we spoke about it, and I said to him, control time means nothing. Damage. Look at my face, look at Jared's. I don't care what anyone says, lad. When you look back in the history books, I've got the little green marker next to my name with a W, so everyone else can suck me arsehole.
Thank you.
Hey, Paddy. You and Ilya have had a bit of needle this week, and he said earlier in this room that the judges gave you a Christmas gift with the decision.
Yeah.
You got a response to that?
No. Hand sanitizer, boy, can keep using my name for some publicity all he wants.
Is the best way for this war of words with him to be buried with a fight between you both in the future at some point?
It could happen, you know what I mean? He looked good tonight. Give him his due. He looked good tonight, he did. Bryce did rock him though in the second round. And I am a lot bigger than both of them. You know what I mean? So that could happen in the future, but as I say, I don't know when I'm going to be fighting now. I've got to get this ankle looked at. And if I was him, like, what? He's in the top 10 in the featherweight division now, isn't he? You know what I mean? He's just beat number 9.
Yeah.
That just shows how I live in his head rent-free. You know what I mean? He's still talking about me, even though he's in the top 10 in featherweight. If I was him, I'd be asking for number 5 or something. But he's asking for the baddie because he knows who the fucking boy is.
I know you said earlier that you don't give a fuck about what people say or think when it comes to the weight gain, but considering Ricky Hatton, who also went up and down in weight between camps, retired.
He was also a world champion, though, weren't he?
Yeah, but if he retired at 28, is the weight gain...
Did he retire at 28?
That was his first retirement, yeah, and then he came back and lost to Senchenko at 33 or so.
I didn't know he retired at 28. Like, I'm 28 in about 3 weeks, lad. Do you think I'm retiring in 3 weeks?
Not 28, but do you think it's conducive to career?
No. I do DEXA scans and stuff when I'm going into fights, lad. My RMR doesn't go down. You know what I mean? I do this scientifically. I don't cut big amounts of weight. The top end of the division cut more weight than me. I cut 10 pounds yesterday. I think like Makhachev and Poirier and Oliveira and Gagey all cut more than 10 pounds overnight. Easily.
Well done with the win.
Thank you, bro.